Welcome back, dear students. We were discussing on the limit state of collapse compression, that is design of columns. Till now we had discussed on the design of a rectangular column with lateral ties. Today we are going to discuss on circular column with helical reinforcement. So you can see the question. Design a circular column of diameter 520 mm subjected to an axial load of 2600 kilonewton. The column has unsupported length of 4200 millimeter. The column is fixed at one end and is held in position but not restrained against rotation at the other end. Use M35 concrete and Fe 415 steel. Use helical reinforcement as transverse reinforcement. Designed by limit state method. So here you are given a circular column having diameter 520 mm subjected to an axial load of 2600 kilonewton. The unsupported length of the column is given as 4200 millimeter. The condition of the end supports are given. The grade of concrete to be used is M35 and 415 steel is to be used. Here in this question it is given use helical reinforcement as transverse reinforcement. So you need to design a circular column with helical reinforcement. If in the question it is not given to design it for helical reinforcement, you can use as what you had done for last class. You just need to change the helical reinforcement. You need to do it as normal lateral ties. If it is not mentioned in the question, you can go for lateral ties for circular column. It's not compulsory that you should always go for helical reinforcement in a circular column. It is given compulsorily given that you should design it for helical reinforcement, then you need to go in that way. So here the unsupported length of the column is given as 4200 mm and the support conditions is given. One end is fixed, the column is fixed at one end and held in position but not restrained against rotation at the other end. So if we go to IS 456 2000, you will get the value for your effective length. So you have here in table number 28, effectively held in position at both ends, restrained against rotation at one end. So in the question also it is given like that. It is fixed at one end and held in position but not restrained against rotation at the other end. So we will go for number 2, that is recommended value for effective length is 0.8 L. So we will get the value for effective length as 0.8 of L naught X, that is 3360 millimeter. So calculating slenderness ratio, you will get LEX by D. Here it is circular column, so there is no minor axis or major axis, only one axis. So you will take LEX by D, that is 3360 divided by 520, that is 6.46, which is less than 12. So I can call this as a short column. Now we will go for minimum eccentricity. That is, you have the minimum eccentricity from clause number 25.4. All columns shall be designed for a minimum eccentricity equal to unsupported length by 500 plus lateral dimension by 30, or a minimum of 20 mm. E minimum is equal to unsupported length divided by 500 plus D by 30 or 20 mm, whichever is more. So we will take it as unsupported length is 4200 divided by 500 plus 520 divided by 30, you will get it as 25.73. So E minimum is 25.73 mm or 20 mm. So we will take it as 25.73 mm. Now we will check for 0.05 D in order to apply the equation for load carrying capacity of an axially short column. So 0.05 D, that is 0.05 into 520, that is 26 mm. So I can say E minimum is less than 0.05 D. So the equation Pu is equal to 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 Fy AC can be applied. We had found these things, that is E minimum, then short column and all, in order to use this equation. If that satisfies, both that equation satisfies only, we can use this equation. So you can see this equation. Short axially loaded compression loaded members in compression, you need to satisfy the members shall be considering assumptions given in 39.1 and the minimum eccentricity. When the minimum eccentricity does not exceed 0.05 times the lateral dimension, the member may be designed as the following equation, that is Pu is equal to 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 Fy AAC. This was the case of a lateral tight column. Now compression member with helical reinforcement. The strength of the compression member with helical reinforcement satisfying the requirements given in 39.4.1 39.4.1, we'll discuss that detail. 39.4.1 shall be taken as 1.05 times the strength of similar member with lateral ties. So the strength of member with lateral ties is this one. So with helical reinforcement, I told you at the beginning in the initial classes of introduction to compression member, when the helical reinforcement at the beginning, both the column with helical reinforcement and lateral ties will be behaving similar. But when it is coming to the load is getting increased, the load carrying capacity of the helical reinforcement will be higher. That is because it will provide more confinement. So here we are providing 5% extra strength will be provided if you are using members with helical reinforcement. So I can write, according to clause number 39.4, I can write here, since helical reinforcement is used as transverse reinforcement, clause number 39.4 says PU can be increased by 5%. That is, I can multiply this by 1.05 into 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 FI ASC. So PU is 1.5 into 2600, that is 3900 kilonewton. So substituting here, you don't know the value for AAC. The only unknown value is AAC. AG is pi by 4 into 520 square. So you'll get the value for AAC as 2806.6 mm square, because the only unknown value is AAC. So you'll check for AAC minimum, that is 0.8% of cross-sectional area. You'll get it as this value. And AAC maximum, you'll get it as 6% of the cross-sectional area. You'll get it as this value, which means your AAC lies between these two values. Your AAC is between these two values. So I will provide 20 mm bars. The number of bars required is 9. For a circular column, the minimum number of bars required is 6. So that is satisfied. So I will provide 9 bars, numbers 20 mm diameter bars. So you can see here it will be provided this way, 9 bars. And the clear cover we are assuming we are providing as 40 mm, because the minimum cover, nominal cover required for column is 40 mm. Now design of helical reinforcement. Clause number 39.4.1. You can see here, clause number 39.4.1. Compression members with helical reinforcement. 39.4 says the strength of the compression member with helical reinforcement satisfying the requirements of 39.4.1. So you need to have a clear idea of this 39.4.1. It is very important. The ratio of volume of helical reinforcement to the volume of the core shall not be less than 0.36 Ag by AC minus 1 into FCK divided by Fy. So I'll read it once again. The volume of ratio of the volume of helical reinforcement, I'll denote it by VH, V suffix small h, to the volume of the core, that I'll denote by capital V suffix C, shall not be less than 0.36 Ag by AC minus 1 into FCK divided by Fy, where Ag is the gross area of the section. AC is the area of the core of helically reinforced column measured to the outside diameter of the helix. Measured to the outside diameter of the helix. You'll see that FCK and Fy are known to you. So here the condition says VH by VC should not be, or the volume of the helix should not be less than VH by, which means it should be greater than, that is, this value is greater than, that is 0.36 FCK divided by FC into Ag by AC minus 1. So we will come to know what is this VH, VC and all Ag, AC. So Ag is pi by 4 into d square, that you will get this value. AC is pi by 4 into dc square. AC is given as, you can see here, AC is, in the code it is given, is the area of the core of the helically reinforced concrete measured to the outside diameter of the helix. So assuming a clear cover of 40 mm and providing 10 mm phi as helical reinforcement, you will get DC as, you have DC here as, this is total is 520 minus clear cover. Outside of the helical means, helical reinforcement means from here to here. So you will get diameter of the core as 520 minus clear cover from here and clear cover from here, that is 440 mm. So you will get AC is equal to pi by 4 into 440 square, that is 152053.08 mm square. So that is the value for AC. Now the next one, that is, you need to find the value for volume of helix and volume of core. This Vc is volume of core. So this is a ratio. So we will consider for 1 meter length. So if you are considering for 1 meter length, since this is a ratio, that is okay. So we will consider for 1 meter length of the core, for volume of core for 1 meter length, and volume of the helix for 1 meter length. That is, we will consider volume of core for 1 meter length, that is 1 meter into area of the core. That it will give you the volume, right? That is 152053. That is the volume of the, area of the core. Area of the core AC, you have this value you will obtain as 152053.08 into 1 meter length, that is 10⁻³ millimeter cube, will be the volume of the core. Now volume of the helix, that also I will consider for 1 meter length, that I can write it as the cross sectional area into length, that will give you the volume, into number of turns will give you the total volume for 1 meter length. That is, I can say the volume of the helix VH, you have the pitch as this distance. So if I am considering this as 1 meter length, this is consider this as 1 meter length, then this is 1 turn. This is 1 turn. That is, 1 turn means going from here, then going like this, like this, like this. This is 1 turn. So if I am considering cross-sectional area into length will give you the volume. Cross-sectional area into length will give you the volume for 1 pitch or 1 turn, into number of turns. Into number of turns will give you the total volume of the helix per meter length. That is, I can say this is the pitch length, this is the length of the pitch. So this turn means what? This turn means some circumference, right? It is a perimeter or some circumference distance, right? That is, if I am approximating this to a circle, if I am looking from the top, I can see this as a circle, and this circle is having a diameter equal to the diameter of the helix. That is the inner diameter of the helix. If I am taking center to center diameter of the helix, approximately I can relate it to a circular form from the top. If I am taking one pitch distance, I can take it as circular. So the length I can say is pi into dh. Dh means I am taking this distance as I am taking from center of this to center of this as dh. I'll explain once more. The cross-sectional area will definitely be this area, into the length will give you the volume of the helix for 1 turn. That is, the cross-sectional area into the length of the helix will give you the volume of the helix for 1 turn, into number of turns for 1 meter will give you the total volume of the helix in 1 meter. So that I can write here, this VH is equal to number of turns. Number of turns means what? Number of turns per length means for 1 meter, that is 1000 mm, how many pitch will give you the number of turns, isn't it? That is, for 1 meter length divided by number of pitch or pitch distance will give you the number of turns, into pi by 4 into 5h square. That is, if I am taking this, this is having diameter 5h. This is having this helical reinforcement is having diameter 5h. So pi by 4 into 5h square will give you the cross-sectional area, into the length. I am approximating this length to a circular thing. There will be slight difference is there, but still I am approximating the circular. That is 5 into dh, where dh is the distance from here to here. That is the center. I am taking the center line of the helical reinforcement, that is from here to here will give it dh. You know, up to here, that is dc, that is 440 mm, minus, if I am taking 10 mm diameter helical reinforcement, that is minus 5 from here and minus 5 from here, that is I'll get it dh as 430 mm. So this will give you the circumference of the turn. This will give you the circumference of the turn. That is, I can write 1000 divided by p into pi by 4 into 5h, that is the cross-sectional area, into pi into 430. So you'll get an equation like this. That is volume of helix, you'll get it like this. That is, I can substitute this in equation 1. Equation 1 is this one. This is equation number 1. So I am substituting this back in equation number 1. You will get 0.36 into fck divided by fy, the whole Ag by Ac minus 1 must be less than or equal to Vh divided by Vc. So substituting back over here and equating to the limiting condition, the only unknown here is small p, that is a pitch. I'll get the pitch as 57.93 mm, so I will use 55 mm as the pitch. Now you got this value. There are some conditions for the pitch distance given by your IS code. It is given in, you can see in page number 49D, course number 26.5.3.2D, helical reinforcement. Pitch. The helical reinforcement shall be of regular formation, with the turns of the helix spaced evenly, and its end shall be anchored properly by providing 1.5 extra turns of the spiral bar. When an increased load on the column on the strength of the helical reinforcement is allowed for, the pitch of the helical turns shall not be more than 75 mm. That is the first condition. The pitch shall not be more than 75 mm. No more than 1/6 of the core diameter of the column, 1/6 of DC, not less than 25 mm. It should not be less than 25 mm, nor less than 3 times the diameter of the steel bar forming the helix, that is 3 times 5h. In other cases, the requirements of 26.5.3.2 shall be complied with. That is 26.5.3.2 means this one. So that is a normal case. Also, the diameter of the helical reinforcement shall be in accordance with 26.5.3.2 C2. That is, it should have a either the diameter of the polygonal links or lateral ties shall not be less than 1/4 of the diameter of the largest longitudinal bar, and in no case less than 6 mm. I told you to change, this is 6 mm. So here I can write the helical reinforcement, the pitch, it should not be greater than 75 mm, which is fine. Ours is 55 mm, so that is okay. It should not be greater than DC by 6. You can see here, it should not be greater than 1/6 of the core diameter of the column. So that is also fine. Ours is 55 mm, so it's not greater than 73 mm. It should not be less than 25 mm. Ours is 50 mm. So it is greater than 25 mm. It should not be greater than, and it should not be less than 3 times 5h. 3 times 5h means we are using 10 mm 5, so it should not be less than 30 mm. Ours is 55 mm, which means I can provide 10 mm 5 at 55 mm pitch. So your helical reinforcement is also done. So the final will 9 bars having 20 mm 5. The helical reinforcement provided is 10 mm at 55 mm pitch, and the clear cover provided is 40 mm. So this completes the design of a circular column with helical reinforcement. Thank you. Now you can see some of the questions that you need to do it by yourself. A reinforced concrete column 300 mm square is reinforced with 4 bars of 16 mm diameter. Determine the ultimate load carrying capacity of the column. Use M25 grade concrete and Fe415 steel. What will be the allowable service load? Here you are asked to determine the load carrying capacity. Directly you are given the design criteria, that is, you are given 300 mm square column, so you'll be able to find AC. You'll be able to find the value for AG. You are given ASC, so you can find the value for AC. And here the ultimate load carrying capacity is asked. You are given FCK value, F5 value. In order to find the service load, you can divide by the factor of safety. So try to do it by yourself. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Next one, design an RC rectangular column to resist an axial load of 800 kN. Use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So here directly you are given to design a rectangular column. No other conditions are given. The dimension of the column is not given. So the thing is that you can assume a minimum dimension starting from 300 mm. So you can assume a column having one of the dimension is 300 mm, and because the earthquake criteria, the minimum dimension required for a column is 300 mm. The other thing you can find it from the area required. Dividing by the one of the side, you will get the other dimension required, and the minimum you can start the ASC minimum, as you know, for a column is 0.8% of the cross sectional area, and ASC maximum is 6% if lapping is not provided, and 4% if lapping is provided. So you can assume an area of 1% of the cross sectional area. So based on these data, you can start designing. You try to design it. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. You can refer some textbooks. You can refer some textbooks. You can see a lot of questions based on this. So you start with an assumption of area of steel as 1% or 1.2% also you can start. We'll start from the bottom. If it is not safe, we'll increase it because that is more economical. So try to do it. And the next one, design necessary reinforcement for a RC column 400 mm by 600 mm to carry an axial load of 1800 kilonewton. Use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. This we had done. You can do it by yourself. The difference between the question number 2 and 3, here the question number 2, you're not given the dimensions. So you can assume the dimension and you can start with the minimum area of steel. Here directly all the dimensions are given. Then the next question, a 400 by 200 mm rectangular concrete column is reinforced with 20 mm diameter 8 steel bars. The effective length of the column is given as directly the effective length is given 2.2 meter. The lateral ties of 8 mm diameter have been provided as transverse reinforcement at appropriate spacing. Determine the ultimate load carrying capacity of the column. Use M20 grade concrete and HYSD bars of grade 415 as reinforcement. So this is also a analysis question. You are asked to find the load carrying capacity of the column. So I hope you are able to do these questions. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. So this comes to an end of your design of compression member, mainly column. And in your next semester, that is design of concrete structures 2, we will discuss the remaining part of this design. That is when there is a axial load and a combination of moment coming in one of the axes or both the axes, then the design of a long column. These things we will discuss in your next semester. So I hope you are clear with this design of an axially loaded short column. Thank you and have a nice day.